that the division of the Korean Peninsula is the outcome of the forcement by big powers. After during the Second World War and at the final days of Second World War, Americans found out that their future, the struggle for the hegemony of the world, should in Far East, because they found out that at that time the Communist Party of China was rising. Soviet Union, almost won the war in Europe, so they found out that their future enemy would be Russia and China. And Americans looked for a place where they can stand, where they can check the influence of Soviet Union and Communist China. At that time, American politics said that the red stream coming down from the globe. So if you see the Earth, they say that the upper part of the Earth is red, and the red is want to expand their color to worldwide. So Americans thought that they should need a place where they can both check China and Soviet Union, and they found out that Korea could be a very good place. First, the Korea is small, and Korea is just situated among Japan, China, and Soviet Union, because they found out that during the Second World War, Japanese developed great achievements in engineering. So after World War, they found that technically Japan could be their rivalry. So they need a kind of place where they can check all these big powers, and that's why they wanted to occupy the whole Korea. But on the meanwhile, Russians thought in that way as well. They thought that they need also a place where they can check American influence on the Far Eastern continent. So there was a compromise between Russians and Americans to divide Korea. So Korea was divided just against the will of Korean people. It was the outcome of the compromise of Soviet Union and America. And even so, America nowadays, the strategic interest of Americans on Korean Peninsula is getting bigger and bigger, because nowadays they even openly say that China is their number one, the rivalry. That's why they need a place where they can contain China, Russia, and Japan at the same time. And Korea is the only place where they can carry out their strategy. That's why Americans are really afraid of unification of Korea. So if there is any reconciliation process between North and South, what happened from 2000 until the 2010, Americans did every ways possible to stop this reconciliation, and peace process between North and South by bringing back the representative of conservative, Lee Myung-bak, to the power. So they will not only leave Korea, but they want to stay more and more. So the reunification of Korea is getting difficult, but we are sure that one day we can move out American influence from Korean Peninsula and reunify our country on the principle of great national unity. The reunification issue should be discussed only between North and South. If you want to discuss this matter between North and South, Americans should leave from South Korea. There is no point Americans still keep more than 20,000 of their army forces. There is no need for Americans still keep their huge air force in South Korea. We want to reunify. We let Americans leave. Say, please leave. Please let us Koreans solve the problems. That is independently. The second one is we want to achieve national reunification peacefully. In other words, of course, the national reunifications cannot happen in just one day. We want to develop more and more exchanges between North and South. That is one of the reasons why we made special economic zones, Kumgangsan tourist complex, where North and South can work together, where we can build understandings and friendships between North and South. And finally, we want to reunify our country on the principle of great national unity. That, in other words, we want to reunify our country by means of bringing federal system. In other words, we can leave the present ideology and political, the system as it is. The difference of ideology and political system as it is. We want to still allow the North and South regional government as it is, but on the basis of accepting the differences of North and South, we can organize a kind of unified federal government which only coordinates the nationwide issues like diplomacy, defense of all these things, while keeping the difference of our ideology and policy as it is. But the problem we have is that so far South Korean, the ruling establishments do not accept this policy. They are still obsessed with the so-called idea of reaching national reunification by means of introducing bourgeois democratic, the liberal, the system world through Korean Peninsula. So we are still struggle very hard to reach, the reunification by way of national unity, by way of bringing, confederal system. We always ask South Koreans, we are divided for more than 60 years, so we should accept the difference of our ideology and political system. On the basis of respecting the difference where we are, then that is the only way we can reach the reunifications. But so far, South Korean, the regimes, encouraged by Americans, they are still dreaming that one day they can reach, Korean reunification like what West Germans did,